Mr. President, our Constitution is a glorious thing. It is, in fact, the envy of the world, and one of the most effective and elegant elements of the foundation of our government is the provisions that provide for the checks and balances of our three branches of government. It has been an incredible honor to participate in this process that was devised by very wise people very long ago that actually provides the American people the reassurance that the Constitution is working the way it was designed to work when it comes to the checks and balances of the three branches of government. The responsibilities of the modern Congress, both House and Senate, are extensive. I don't need to spend much time, Mr. President, talking about how busy we are right now. But the fact that we set aside everything that we were doing and came together and sat as a Senate and listened to the arguments and deliberated extensively about this impeachment should be reassuring to every American. I think the results are interesting in that it reflects that each senator made an individual decision about the articles of impeachment. There was some unanimity on some of the counts, but on others, it was Republicans and Democrats, conservatives, progressives, on both sides of the questions. And I think that shows the extent to which everyone made an independent judgment and took their responsibilities very seriously. I want to take just a few minutes now to thank some people that really are unsung heroes here. Obviously, I thank the distinguished Vice Chairman, the Senator from Utah, for his support, his experience, and his wisdom in discharging the committee's duties. He was essential to this process and a great rock for me to lean on at many turns during this process. I also want to thank the 10 other members of the Impeachment Trial Committee for their devotion and diligence and commitment to this important work. And then I would like to take just a couple of minutes to talk about the staff. I want to begin with Darren Parks, who is seated with me here on the floor of the Senate. Darren walked into my office and was hired to be a legislative assistant for health care in the middle of some pretty difficult times on health care. And then I said to him, oh, by the way, could you run an impeachment of a federal judge also? So as a brand new member of my staff, he took on incredible responsibility. And all of the thanks I've gotten really belong to him because he worked hard, he worked smart, he was a great leader, and did a remarkable job of marshaling a bunch of senators, a bunch of staffs, a bunch of witnesses, a bunch of evidence, a bunch of legal research, and did it in a way that I think the Senate can be very proud. I also want to thank Tom Jipping, who is Senator Hatch's staff person who helped with this. As the Deputy Staff Director for the Impeachment Committee, he also put in an incredible amount of work and gave a very valuable contribution. And Justin Kim, counsel. Justin was very important because whenever there was a disagreement about what was the right road to take in terms of historical precedent, rule of law, decisions on motions, he was always a good sounding board. There were always more than one smart lawyer in the room so that the ideas could be bounced back and forth and somehow we could come up with the right answer based on the law, the Constitution, and historical precedent. Rebecca Seidel, who was also very valuable to the committee, another counsel who was essential in this process. Aaron Johnson, the deputy counsel and chief clerk, who did, frankly, some of the most difficult work, and that was making sure that we had a quorum during the trial, which was hard, as you can imagine, Mr. President. Keeping senators just in one seat for an extended period of time, that's tough. And she managed to make sure that we always had a quorum that the law demanded. And Lake Dishman, another member of the staff that did a wonderful job. Susan Navarro-Smeltzer, the analyst on the federal judiciary from the Congressional Research Service staff from CRS did wonderful work for us in terms of allowing us some help on the research of the historical precedents and decisions that guided our way. Morgan Frankel, who was here on the floor for the conclusion of this impeachment matter, the Senate Legal Counsel, like Senator Hatch, this wasn't his first time to deal with impeachment matters, so he was a wealth of information and wonderful help to us. And Pat McBrien, she also did great work. Grant Vinnick and Tom Caballero were also from the Senate Legal Counsel staff. And then all the committee members had staff people that helped on this. I will not put all of their names on the record now, but they will be made part of my entire statement. I will have more extensive comments on the impeachment proceedings, which I will insert in the record. I just want to conclude by saying I'm very proud to be a senator today. There are days that's not as easy to say. There are times this place is pretty dysfunctional. But I'm very proud of the United States Senate and how we conducted ourselves during this very important and grave proceeding. I think the responsibility was handled just as the founders would have wanted us to handle it, and I think we all should be proud of that. I ask unanimous consent, Mr. President, that the full text of my statement appear in the record at this point, followed by an appendix, which is referred to in the body of the statement, and I yield the floor.